The game didn't even have a name for about a year and a half at all.
And then we got a perfect name.
And then we got a perfect name, which was Stampede.
We ran with for like the longest time, and then I don't even know how long before the crowdfund.
Oh, like not long, a couple of weeks, I'm sure.
As soon as you have to check legal and things like that, it becomes much harder.
If the fighting game is successful, then yeah, we'd love to see them find herds in different formats. But we don't know. It's so far off, and everyone's always got plenty of ideas. Everyone's got 100 ideas a day for different games.
This is a really early background, actually. We're putting more 3D objects and things into it. This was actually just trying to get it into the program to see if it would even work, so just stuck with it for now.
Right.
But
as to whether or not we're taking our game around to places, we were discussing that earlier. We're still figuring out. Basically, the timings and the cost of things are gigantic factors. We don't know for sure. It'd be very nice to go to EVO at the very least.
Pom 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 pom. Pom 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 pom. Pom 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 pom. Sorry, that's my pom singing song, everybody. Pom 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 pom. Okay.
How big Long must get at an older age is still something that is being figured out. I always joked about Long was just getting longer. The eldest Long would be the longest Ma. Here's what happens when you do an attack with the particle system right now, just by default settings. Like, it's pretty terrifying, but the potential of this particle system is pretty exciting for us, at least on the development side. We'll be able to make things look a lot smoother and cooler for less work, of course, because of just the nature of particles.
So we've had a bit of a redesign of her puppy, just the main one.
Always
so
on
the other
her.
ones are going to be a bit different, but the one that's always on her is going to be a lot cuter now.
For several reasons. The first, so you can tell it apart.
There's a lot of blending going on in-game right now, where all the puppies are just the same, and it's kind of a special case.
She just kind of cuted him up a little bit.
Couple updates to the stage, a bit more foliage on each side. Mountains are more painterly than before. Got some cacti over here. Like, everything's kind of getting fleshed out. There's a lot of large orange spaces in previous versions. Gradually working it down. Better sky, all that stuff.
Speaking of our QA, because Cam's talking in the chat right now, that they've recently took a build to, not to EVO, so it wasn't like on the stage or at the actual floor, it was just kind of in their room, and they tweeted out a couple of people to come have a look. They got some pretty cool feedback from that, which Nappy's going through now. Yeah, it wasn't anything official, obviously, because it's so early on, it was just sort of those guys just doing it to themselves. But yeah, that was quite interesting to see some fresh people playing it. Caught up with Lauren recently, and so her style, she doesn't respect volumes and stuff as much as a more sort of 3D style almost.
Yeah, right.
So when something is on an angle, which actually makes it really hard to animate sometimes. So yeah, she just cheats. She just cheats all the time. So she prefers a much cooler looking line or a curve that follows rather than something that might realistically be there. And it's why she has that such an iconic style, I think.
it's adorable.
And so it's quite hard to
like deceivingly simple. Very hard to replicate, honestly.
Cool, so this is our anniversary stream. We have Lauren here, and we have me and Nappy and Lindsay and Lee.
You know, all the rest of those guys.
Yeah.
I have been working away on the story mode of the game, and that's been an interesting process because telling stories for fighting games, I have recently discovered, is a little different than writing stories.
A tiny bit.
Yeah, it's a little different than writing stories for television or features. Seems to me like fighting games don't necessarily have structure per se. So that's been fun and an interesting learning experience, and mostly fun because it's different. There's actually a lot less limitations, and that's been fun to explore. if we're writing the story and we have to get rid of a body, maybe we need vultures around.
Yeah, gotta get rid of a body. Yeah.
You just need to get rid of the body, you know.
How do we get rid of a body? Yeah, this story's gonna be really cool.
You know, Palm is gonna start killing
yeah.
people. This character needs to learn to stop being such an asshole. Palm starts out like a huge asshole.